a beautiful continent, Tanzania and Uganda in Africa, in Eastern Africa. And I'm very happy that we have two excellent DMC partners presenting today, which is the Rickshaw Travels from Tanzania and Let's Go Travel from Uganda. For all of you who are new in the LCC family or are not even a member of LCC yet, LCC Network has 131 DMC partners worldwide now in more than 100 countries. And with those wonderful destinations, we will kick it off today. The session will be split into separate parts. We will have Pooja presenting Tanzania first, and then Kennedy will present Uganda after her. And each DMC member has 10 minutes time for presentation. This is then followed by a 5-minute Q&A session. And if you have questions in between, you're also welcome to use our chat function. After the session of our two colleagues from Tanzania and Uganda, I will need only 2 to 3 minutes in order to explain you very shortly how you find your DMC partner. We will do a very quick poll at the end of the session to collect your feedback. But enough from my side now, and let's get started with Pooja Lalji from LCC, the Rickshaw Travels, our specialist for Tanzania. And I hand over to you, Pooja. Very warm welcome.
Thank you, Anje. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Lots of new faces and old faces and names, so nice to see everyone. I am just going to share my screen. Bear with me. I'm assuming everyone can see it?
Yes, we can see.
Excellent. Yes. There we go. So welcome to Tanzania. My name is Pooja, as you can see on the screen. I am the director for the Rickshaw Travel Group for tours. So I have been in the tourism business for 23 years this year and started at the bottom, worked my way up, which is why I'm able to hopefully present in a nice organic fashion to you. Tanzania is on the east coast of Africa, so right under Kenya, and it borders several other countries, including Uganda, which is our next presentation as well. So we have various areas in Tanzania that are very, very famous, and then some areas that are not so famous. So we have got the city life, which is Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Mwanza, which is the mining side of the country as well. And then we've also got sun, sea, sand, and adventure in terms of the leisure activities that you can do. What's beautiful with Tanzania particularly is it's an all year round destination. Whether it's a safari or the beaches or Mount Kilimanjaro, there is not a single time of the year that you cannot visit. We have specific months for specific migratory patterns on the safari side. Obviously, we have a couple of months of slight heavy rain. But like I always say to everyone, even if you come in low season, the animals love to come out and play in the rain. So you will never be void of seeing wildlife. Accessibility is quite simple. We've got over 25 airlines that actually fly into Tanzania in various airports. So you've got Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, which is the island side on the east coast. And then you've got Kilimanjaro, which is the famous Mount Kilimanjaro. You've got Arusha as well. I'm sorry, I'm just going to put this down for a second. There you go. Some of the major attractions that a lot of people see on National Geographic or Discovery include the Serengeti Plains, the Ngorongoro Crater, the Kilimanjaro Mountain, which is the highest freestanding mountain in the world and the highest point of Africa. That stands at 5,896 meters. I know you might see 5 over there, but it's grown an extra meter over time. And then you've got Zanzibar and the archipelago of islands with Mafia and Pemba on the just off the east coast. So everything with this, along with the diversity of culture, we are one of the few African nations, in my opinion, that has a very peaceful culture, but the diverse groups of tribes that we have within the country makes it a very peaceful place, and everyone kind of lives together, hand in hand. So one of the first parks I'm going to talk about very quickly is the Serengeti. I do have a video over here, but for some reason it's not showing up. But that is on the right, you will see a migration video if it decides to show up at some point. It's one of the largest national parks in the world. The Serengeti and the Masai Mara in Kenya are actually one park, but there's a border, obviously, of the country, and that's why they're called two different parks. I'm going to show you the migration map in a few moments on a later slide as well to explain what months of the year are best to visit the Serengeti for what kind of event you would like to see. The Olduvai Gorge is another one. Between Serengeti and Ngorongoro, you have the Olduvai Gorge, and this is still in the volcanic region of Ngorongoro crater, but it's one of the it was one of the oldest footprints that were found in the world, which was 2.5 million years old. However, now it's the second largest because the first one was found in Siberia a few years ago. It's also home to the Big Five. The Big Five are the big main animals that you have, including the buffalo, the black rhino, which isn't found in many places in Africa as well. And of course, you've got the wildebeest as well. You've got the Great Migration, which I'm going to show you the migratory map. And unfortunately, the video on the right isn't playing, but that has the migration of the Serengeti. And this covers between Serengeti and the Masai Mara throughout the year. Some of the activities that we offer in Serengeti National Park are balloon safaris, which is absolutely spectacular, and I personally recommend it when you're doing the migration during July, August, because this is like you're getting a bird's eye view of the park as well. The wide variety of accommodation, I think, is definitely a USP to a lot of the parks that we sell in Tanzania, because you can get anything from mobile camps, which follow the migratory pattern throughout the year in Serengeti, all the way up to mid-budget tented camps and luxury lodges that come up to things like the Four Seasons and so on. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that in a bit as well. The Ngorongoro Conservation Area is, I call it the 8th natural wonder of the world, and in a lot of websites you will find it as that. It is also, it's a conservation area. So what the Ngorongoro crater is, it is literally a volcano that imploded instead of exploding 2 million years ago. Some say 2.5 million years ago, but I say about 2 million years ago approximately. And what happened when it imploded is the volcanic soil was so rich in flora and fauna, in the fertility of it, it became its own ecosystem within. So this has become like a concave-shaped bowl, whereby you have a conservation area where animals of various kinds live. It used to be the female elephant and the giraffe that you never found in the Ngorongoro crater, but in the last 5 years, there have been female elephants found in the crater as well. And that would be before, because they were too heavy to go down when they were pregnant. This is, you're looking at a steep point of about 1,700 meters above sea level. That's how the crater is filled. It also outlines the Great East African Rift Valley. The reason why it's called a conservation area and not a national park, it is one of the few places in our region whereby animals and humans live together. So you have the Maasai tribe that is allowed to reside in this area, and the Maasai and the animals live in kind of a coalition together, its own ecosystem within. The volcanic crater is one of the largest unflooded and unbroken caldera in the world. So like I said, it's formed its own ecosystem. It's got its own little hippo pool at the bottom there. And normally what we do is we have a night on the rim of the crater whereby you're waking up to the views of the crater, and then you go down, descend the crater for a full day game drive at some point in your safari itinerary. This is something that is not shown anywhere else in the world. It is a UNESCO heritage site, and it is one of my favorite places on earth because every time I've seen it, and I've probably seen it between 40 and 50 times in my lifetime, it has always been different no matter what, the sunrise and the sunset. So quite something. The beauty of this is also you find the black rhino in there. They are a little bit shy, to be honest, but there you go. And then the hotels on the rim of the crater as well. So that gives you the viewpoint with that. Some of the other national parks we have are Tarangire, which is more of a swampy, foresty jungle atmosphere, very famous for elephants and leopards. And then you've got Selous. Selous is in the southern part of Tanzania. It's also called the Nyerere National Park, and it also borders with the Ruaha National Park. These are all some of the largest sanctuaries in the world as well. And then you've got Lake Manyara up north, very close to the Ngorongoro crater. Used to be very famous for the flamingos, but to be honest, the flamingos have kind of dwindled down a little bit now. So it's more famous for pythons and tree climbing lions now as well. Oops, sorry. Where do you stay on safari? So like I said, we have, you can go anything from 3-star all the way up to 5-star. Really depends on your budget and what kind of rustic or adventure you're looking for. So when you want something a little more rustic, you can go to Katikati Camp, which is perfectly safe, but it's in the middle of the park, and you can literally hear the animals roaring outside your tent a lot of nights in this particular camp. This is found in Serengeti. Another one is the Ngorongoro Serena Lodge. The Serena Lodge is on the rim of the crater, and if you see where I'm pointing, you'll see the hippo pool right down there as well. So you wake up to those views in the morning. The Four Seasons Safari Lodge in Serengeti is probably one of the nicest lodge. The only one above this is called the Singita Lodge, which a lot of the South Africans will know about because it's one of the most luxurious camps in the world. Four Seasons is my personal favorite in Serengeti. It has this pool that you see, the swimming pool on the side here, which is part of the lodge. The hippo, you've got a herd of family of about 80 elephants. There is not a single day that they don't come up towards the lodge, and they have part of the pool and the hippo pool right there. So you're literally 10 feet away from a family of elephants if you stay at the lodge and have a viewing of this. So it's in its own line, so to speak. Right, sorry. Zanzibar, just very quickly. So Zanzibar is one of the most famous islands because it has an origin of the slave trade. Got still a lot of ruins and small museums and little palaces from the Oman era. And Oman and Zanzibar had a very, very close connection in terms of the slave trade. I'm sure you've also heard of Sinbad, the sailor, and some of those stories and legends come from between Mombasa, Zanzibar, and Oman as well. We've got a lot of cultural tourism, not just in the mainland of Tanzania, but also within the island. Lots of different tribes. It's mostly an Islamic island. So 95% of it is Islamic. So there are certain times of the year where we ask that you respect the culture during the fasting season and things like that. There is a lot of other activities you can do in Zanzibar. They have the underwater sea walk, which is where you put a helmet on and you walk underwater for 15 minutes. It's better than snorkeling because you've got the fishes, turtles, sharks, whatever around you. It's quite beautiful. You've also got the skydive in Zanzibar where you can dip in with the dolphins, right up on the north coast, which is really, really nice as well. And then you've got island hopping because there are lots of little sandbanks and islands around the main island. And then we also have golfing holidays and horse riding up there, which is something new that has been introduced in the last few years, and it's taking off really well there. Zanzibar is also famous on the party scene because it's in the top 5 of full moon parties of the world, and it's usually held on the first Saturday after full moon. Okay. So what's so special about us? Why use us as opposed to anyone else that you can find online? Well, we're very diverse in our region. We have offices in Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania. And we also cover other regions across the globe with that. And we have a very diverse cultural team. And we have a diverse team within the culture. So we speak a lot of languages. Our guides also are very multilingual. So we have everything from Spanish, German, Italian, French, Mandarin, the Indian languages that you have, and then English and Kiswahili, which is our national language. We also have our own fleet of vehicles. A lot of agents and safari operators don't actually invest in their own fleet of vehicles. We like to keep everything in-house because we take responsibility and have complete ownership of what we're doing. And that includes our own safari guides. So all our safari guides, as a single female traveler, myself, I pick them myself. So they've all been with us for more than 10 years. Some have been with us for about 22 years now. And everyone is literally like a little family out there. The VIP concierge service is one of the few services. I think we are one of the few agents in Tanzania that offer it on a whole scale. So we have particular VIP concierges where you have a guest coming in and we can either travel with them or take care of everything for them while they are traveling. And then we also have a MICE department that specializes in inbound with groups of any kind of size. So the largest group we've done with events where we've built our own conference hall in the middle of a national park to do a conference was 350 people. So here's a little map of Tanzania, so you can kind of see where we're at and what we are. So we've got, like I said, we're bordering Kenya, obviously the Congo side as well, and you've got Mozambique, Zambia, Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda there as well, and Malawi. So Tanzania is literally very coastal in terms of its culture. But we have a lot of lakes in Tanzania as well. And if you have a look on the right side of the map, you will see where Zanzibar is in relation to this and where the parks are, where as a first-time traveler, we would recommend you come into Mount Kilimanjaro Airport, which is over here. And then you can fly out of Zanzibar. There are a lot of airlines that do this, like Qatar, Turkish Airlines. You've got Precision Air, Kenya Airways, and various other, and KLM as well, KLM and Air France as well. So you have various points that you can do an open jaw flight as well. When you're doing Mount Kilimanjaro, you can either climb it and do 1 week climb and then go off on safari, or you can do a safari and come down to Zanzibar. These are the normal itineraries. So over here, we'll find a very standard itinerary for 9 nights, 10 days. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but basically you would arrive at Kilimanjaro. Normally the flights arrive late afternoon, unless you're on Qatar Airways, which arrives in the morning. All these flights arrive afternoon, sorry, Ethiopian Airlines was another one, afternoon and evening or late night. So we normally overnight you in Arusha, which is one of the main cities within the reach of Safari Circuit. And then the next day you would drive up to Manyara, do a game drive, Ngorongoro, and then you can see the itinerary, which is quite typical. I'm very happy to go through this separate with anyone who needs it. Just let me know on email. We can arrange a call, or I can send you our online brochure, which has all the digitized inclusions, exclusions, rates, everything. With Zanzibar, one of the new things that was introduced about 4 months ago, 6 months ago now, is the Zanzibar insurance. So there is an incoming insurance. No matter what insurance you may have, there is a $44 insurance fee that has to be paid per person online. And for that, we always send you the link before you travel for every time you enter Zanzibar. So just bear that in mind when you're doing that, when you're planning trips in terms of costs as well. Migration. So migratory pattern on here. Sorry. Starts from January to March, we have baby season. So what happens is, you've got so what is the migration? I apologize. 1.2 million wildebeest and zebra, literally walking around in circles, as they say, but not really, through different parts of the year, depending on where the water lies. So wildebeest and zebra follow water. They also have babies according to when it rains. So generally, if you start from the bottom over here, you will find January to March, it is between the Ngorongoro and the Serengeti. It's in an area called the Ndutu. And this is where a lot of the wildebeest and zebra are having babies. This is actually a spectacular time of year, and it's slightly cheaper than June, July, August, and December when you have the migration. And it's quite a spectacular sight to see all these babies just dropping. Sometimes you might have a little bit of rain, but like I said before, animals like to play in the rain, so you will never see a dearth of animals. From April to June, you will find that they're coming through Central Serengeti and going up. Now, Central Serengeti is where places like the Four Seasons are, and the Serena lodges are, and so on. So you have a lot of lodges and mobile camps and tented camps that also are there. As you come up to July and August, they're now crossing this border of Kenya, and they're crossing the Great Mara River. This is the famous crossing that a lot of you will see on Discovery and so on, and the Big Cat's Diary as well. When they cross over to Kenya, they generally don't spend a ton of time over there, but they do come over and come through the north part of Serengeti again by October, November. And then they start again as they come down through the second half of Serengeti. And that's kind of how we follow the migratory pattern, but we also have guides who are constantly there tracking the animals. In case the rains are delayed or anything like that, we do know where to put you and your clients. That is us. We've got a small team. Some of our guides are missing. They were on safari, but that's our little office in Arusha. And if you need any more information or need anything from me, please drop me an email at sales@racheltravels.com, and that comes directly to me as well. And I will be happy to share any information for you.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Thanks a lot for all the very useful insights about your beautiful country. Do we have any questions from the audience to Pooja? I don't see anything in the chat, so we might have a few online. No? Okay, then let's jump to our next part of the session. Will quickly share my screen with you again. And now we are giving a very warm welcome to Kennedy Olu from LCC Let's Go Travel in Uganda, our specialist when it comes to organizing trips to Uganda and also to Rwanda. Welcome, Kennedy, and the stage is yours. Please share your screen with us.
Okay, thank you so much, Angie. Let me try and share my screen. Let me know when you are able to view it. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, all perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Welcome everybody for this session. It's a great pleasure from Palo, Africa, Uganda. My name is Kennedy, in charge of sales and marketing at LCC Uganda Let's Go Travel. So today I'm going to take you through just a brief introduction of our company and also more details about Uganda, the destination. Here we go. As Auntie had already introduced me, we are LCC partner in Uganda, but we operate as a Let's Go Travel. We've been in the tourism industry for almost 3 decades, 30 years running. So it's a small company which is family owned by 2 ladies who have been in partnership for the period. And they have been known to be the pioneers of the tourism industry in Uganda and have been consistently offering high quality and personalized travel experiences within Uganda and in the region. As Antje said, we operate both in Uganda and in Rwanda, but today we are going to focus more on Uganda. So the services we offer as Let's Go Travel, we do offer safaris, tours and safaris within the region, but we are strong in Uganda. That's where we are based. We also do flight bookings for domestic and international flights. We do hotel reservations, as we also have very good contracts with local and regional hotels. We assist in visa processing for incoming clients and also outgoing. We also have, we are one of the few companies in Uganda that have airport office. So that assists us with the logistics in between the airport and most of the locations in Uganda, either transfers to the city or to the national park. So we can coordinate everything the moment clients arrive. We are also big in corporate and business travel. We do MICE. We've hosted a lot of European groups that have come to Africa, specifically in Uganda, for MICE reasons. That is meetings, incentives, and MICE, sorry, meetings, incentives, and conferences, sorry. Now, we are also doing school trips. We have organized huge groups, both locally and abroad. And based on our good service and consistency that we have showcased in the industry since the inception, in 2020, we were voted as the best travel management company in Uganda. And 2021, we bagged the best tour operator in Uganda. This is our team. It's not so big, not so small. We are composed of around 20 to 25 staff. All are permanently employed. And we speak various languages, including English, Swedish, Hungarian, Russian, and other local languages. But in events whereby we get clients who speak languages which none of our staff members do speak, we have very good contracts and relationship with guides and translators who can take them on safari and help them with the languages that they speak. And of importance, because sometimes whenever clients visit us, the people whom they take most of their time with are the safari guides. So these safari guides have very in-depth knowledge of the attractions within Uganda, being that they have worked with us and also in the industry for a while. They also go undergo trainings quite frequently just to update them with the cultures and also service standards that are required of them. We are also very committed to conservation, being that Uganda is a green destination. We take a lot of commitment when it comes to preservation of the natural heritage, that is our wildlife and nature. As I said, we do offer personalized services in that we do not give everything for everyone to everyone. We always listen to our clients, customize the service based on their requirements. Then, as a Ugandan culture, very known worldwide, we are very friendly people. We are always welcoming, and that sets us apart when it comes to handling our clients. When we are about to, if we are to talk about the destination Uganda, someone will ask, why should I travel to Uganda? Uganda happens to be one of the countries in the world that has gorillas. And it has almost 50% of the world mountain gorillas. So it's a unique activity that you can't find anywhere else apart from Uganda, Rwanda, and the DRC. Then Uganda is also a source of the River Nile, the longest river in the world. River Nile starts its journey from Lake Victoria and moves about over 6,000 kilometers, where it empties its waters in the Mediterranean Sea. So at the source, there is a lot of activities, including water rafting, sunset cruises, and just natural beauty of the same. Uganda is also known for its rich cultural heritage. We have the Batua community that live together and share the same environment with the gorillas in southwestern part of the country. Uganda also has the Karamojong, one of the communities that is found in northern Uganda, very rich culturally. Then when it comes to biodiversity, Uganda is known for quite a lot of wildlife that are very rare. It has the highest concentration of primates globally, based on the concentration, being that it's a small country. It's where you can do gorilla tracking, you can do chimp trekking, and many other activities. And also, Uganda is one of the only countries in Africa where you can do water and land safaris. And it's also a year-round travel destination, in that anytime you can visit Uganda, because it does not have the weather extremes. You don't have winters here. So you can travel to Uganda at any time. We have the dry season, which is very perfect for gorilla trekking. Then we also have the green season, that's the rainy season, where most of the birds always migrate into the region, and it's a very good opportunity to view the birds for the bird lovers. There is also a wide array of adventure activities that include water rafting and mountain climbing. We have Rwenzori Mountains in Western Uganda, which is so beautiful, one of the most technical mountains to climb. And is one of the few mountains in Africa which is snow-capped. And as I said, the hospitality of Ugandans, the friendliness is something to admire. So we have warm hospitality. You will always be welcome whenever you visit Uganda. So the people is also part of the reason why many guests visit Uganda. Uganda is also big in conservation, being that most of the attractions are in eco-sensitive areas. A lot of focus has been put to conserve most of the wildlife, that is the gorillas, the chimps, and many others. It's also untouched and less crowded, being that it's just an upcoming destination, new in the global map. So it offers the real authentic African experience in the jungles and other areas where attractions are found. So people might ask, which type of groups or tourists does Uganda attract? Being that Uganda is quite diverse in terms of attractions, it attracts so many kind of tourists, including wildlife enthusiasts. We have the big five. In fact, big six, because gorillas are also included in the big quote unquote, being that it's the only place, in addition to Rwanda and the DRC, where you can get the gorillas. For adventure travelers, as I mentioned earlier, the mountains are there, the rivers are there, so you can always have something for yourself. It also attracts families in that any age group has something to do, and Uganda has something to offer the same. For luxury travelers, we have premium accommodation, beautiful accommodation facilities ranging from luxury tented camps, luxury safari lodges that offer premium services to those who are looking for luxury experience. We also have tourists who are interested in culture, who like to experience the way of life of the locals. They also have something on offer. Then the ecotourists, due to conservation, honeymooners and couples, groups and educational trips also have something for them. Then the corporate and MICE groups are also welcome to Uganda. We have a lot of conference resorts along Lake Victoria, and it's very, very well known for hosting a lot of conferences, both regional and global. For people who are interested in photography and filmmaking, a lot of films have been shot in Uganda. And because the sceneries are unique, I'll share a list of the films. Then we also have solo travelers, people who just want to enjoy themselves without huge groups. Those also find Uganda quite attractive. So for the best time to visit Uganda, as I mentioned earlier, Uganda is an all-season destination, but it all depends on what the travelers want to partake. For gorilla trekking and wildlife safaris, the best time is always the dry season, which is December to February, when the rains are short, and it gives you the opportunity to trek without going through the hassle of being rained on in the forest. And also it exposes the wildlife, being that it has lush savannas. So during the dry season, the animals are exposed, so you get a good opportunity to view the wildlife. Same applies to June and August. But during March and May, September to November, this is the rainy season. And as I had mentioned, this is the time when the migratory birds pass via Uganda. That's when they also come to breed, and it's a good opportunity for birders to come over and view the birds. And this is also a good season in that most of the services, including accommodation, have good discounts. So for people who are looking at the best time where you can get deals, the best deals, that is the rainy season. That's March to May and September to November. So if you are to talk about gorilla trekking, just to get a clear understanding of what it entails, gorilla trekking happens in southwestern Uganda. That's where Bwindi National Park is. Then there is also an adjacent park, which is shared by Rwanda and DRC called Mugahinga. But most of the gorilla trekking in Uganda happens within Bwindi National Park. It's an extraordinary adventure that takes you deep into the forest. It's quite vigorous in terms of the intensity of the activity, in that you have to walk through the forest. you have to be physically fit, and the forest also mountainous, quite mountainous. So it needs some level of fitness for you to partake in the activity. Generally, it takes 2 to 6 hours, depending on the group that you are tracking. Sometimes, if you are so lucky, it takes even 1 hour. After the briefing, you leave the park headquarters. Then as you move towards the forest, you can be lucky and meet the gorillas, but sometimes it takes more than that, up to 6 hours, depending on where the gorillas slept the previous day. But the guides that we have there always have good information about the locations of the gorillas, so they can easily locate them to make it quite seamless when it comes to accessing them. So the duration you are allowed to have with the gorillas is always 1 hour. That's when you can watch them, enjoy themselves. They never mind the presence of human beings, because most of the trackable gorillas are habituated in that they are made to get used to human beings as they still enjoy their wild environment. So as I said, the fitness level is moderate to high fitness. So the age group that's allowed for this should be between 15 and 65 years. Anyone below 15 probably are not allowed to do the trekking, and anyone above 65, because of physical fitness, they can't do it on their own, but there are always provisions for people who are maybe not fit or people who have conditions. There's a way that the park rangers can always assist, either they get carried and be assisted in the trekking. So not that they are cut off from the activity, but they are always given special help. And the cost of gorilla tracking ranges from 800 to 1,500. 800 is for tracking, which is just having a few moments with the gorillas. But then we also have habituation. That is monitoring the gorillas from morning to evening. You see how they wake up, how they go through their daily activities until they rest. So that is what we call habituation. That's what costs $1,500 per permit. And something to take note of is that the gorilla groups have designated number of people that can access them per day. Each group has a limit of 8 people. So the permits are on high demand, and early booking for these permits is always required. We have so many families of the trackable gorillas. We have them in different sectors of the Bwindi National Park. First sector, which is easily trackable, is the Buoma sector. Then we have the Ruhija sector, we have the Rushaga, and the Nkuringo sector. Then, as I also mentioned earlier, we have the Mgahinga Gorilla National Park, which only has 1 family. So the families which are trackable are listed there based on the area where they exist. So someone might ask, if I come to Uganda, how do I move from point A to point B? Uganda is well developed in terms of infrastructure, and the connectivity between the parks is very good in terms of road infrastructure. Most, if not all, the parks also have airstrips for small aircrafts to land. So if you have a traveler who wants to do a quick safari by not necessarily having to go through the hassle of driving from one park to another, we have light aircraft that can move people from point A to point B. So approximate timing for a general Uganda safari, let's say an 11-day safari, that takes you to Murchison Falls, Chibale National Park, Queen Elizabeth, Bwindi and Lake Mburo. We have the durations of travel in between the parks when you use the roads. But when you are airlifted, some take less than 30 minutes, some take an hour or so. And when it comes to accommodation aspects, Uganda has a huge offering of accommodation. We have the high-end luxury accommodation for premium and luxury travelers. We also have mid-range hotels and lodges in the parks. We have budget facilities. We have safari lodges, tented camps, and many others. When it comes to connectivity into Uganda, we have various airlines flying into Uganda, mainly from Europe, Middle East, and within the region of East Africa and Africa at large. So that's a list of the airlines. So someone might ask, if I'm from Germany, how do I connect to Uganda? You can easily use SN, Brussels, KLM, Turkish, because I understand they have good partnerships with German carriers. They have good partnerships and they interline so well with American carriers. So accessing Uganda is quite seamless. So here we have sample itineraries of an 11-day scheduled safari and an 8-day scheduled safari. These are safaris which are set on specific dates, so people can always join. It starts with arrival at Entebbe, then day 2 and 3, you are at Murchison Falls. Then day 3 to 4 and 5, you are in Chibale, where we'll be doing the chimp tracking. Then day 6 and 7, you are in Queen Elizabeth National Park, where you will be doing safaris both on land and on water. Queen Elizabeth is very special in that it's one of the national parks in Africa where you can do both aquatic and terrestrial game drives, and has one of the highest concentrations of bird, the place called Kazinga Channel. Then you can proceed to Bwindi Impenetrable National Park where you can do the gorilla tracking. Then you proceed to Lake Mburo and back to Entebbe. Other than that, you can always proceed to the islands. We have a lot of islands with very beautiful resorts, sandy beaches, just to relax after you are done with your safari. So the rates that are on my screen are based on minimum 2 packs, but the more the people join, the cheaper it gets. So for further information, or if you need more details about Uganda, you can always contact us directly. My name is Kennedy. Email address is there. My number is also there, both available on phone call and also on WhatsApp. And thank you very much for your time and listening.
Thank you very much, Kennedy, for all those insights into your beautiful home country.